Hey guys, how's it going? It is your boy, Big Blue Drew 97 here, coming at you with another manga review for this chapter of My Hero Academia Vigilantes, manga chapter 83 titled Raging Inferno. And let me just move this mic down a little bit. There we go. And when it comes to this chapter of My Hero Academia Vigilantes, from what we see with the cover page, it's going to have a strong focus on the confrontation that we saw beginning between Endeavor, Koichi, and O'Clock 2. Or how I will be calling him from now on, 2 o'clock. Why? Because the name is ridiculous and he deserves a ridiculous name. Not because he's a ridiculous character, but because he shot Pop Step through the heart, and I will not respect him ever again. But without the way, I really want to get into this chapter, because when it comes to this chapter, a lot of it is just set up for the climax of this story, which would be most likely the confrontation between Koichi, the Crawler, versus 2 o'clock, also known as 6. So this chapter just builds upon that. It also gets a pretty much okay ending to the confrontation. I'll get to that when we get towards the end of the chapter, but I will say this. I was surprised on how this chapter ended, and you may most likely be surprised as well. So like I said, when it comes to the cover page, it's nothing really that special. You just have Koichi carrying Pop Step with his back towards Endeavor, as we see Endeavor's piercing eyes burning away your soul. And let me just say this. Luckily enough, I'm wearing red today. Oh wait, am I not wearing red? Now I am. That means Endeavor can't hurt me, because obviously you can't burn red. It's the rules. You can't burn the color of what you are. Like how blue cannot drown, or how green cannot be eaten like grass. That's just how it works, right? Obviously, it's My Hero Academia. But yes, the cover page itself isn't really special. So from the cover page, we go right into Endeavor and how he's basically talking shit about Koichi. And as well as Pop Step, he's like, "Oh, so the girl is hurt, huh? Well, that means that she can't really run away. And because you're carrying her, that means you'll have a hard time running away as well, kid. But you know what? That's what you're best at, eh? Running away? But don't worry, you won't get away, you All Might hoodie wearing punk." So yeah, Endeavor is mad, which you know, what else is new, and he is about to go ham on Koichi. And Koichi realizes this as well. He's looking at Endeavor, he's like, he's the number 2 hero. Wow, he's intense. And he's like, oh, and the closer that he gets, the more of the heat that he feels. And he's thinking about, okay, I have to get Pop to safety. I have to get her help. I have to get to Soga. So now we have the confrontation that we're facing here. We have Koichi facing down the number 2 hero. The number 2 hero is going to try to stop him at any cost. And Koichi's goal is to get Pop Step away at any cost. And then to add on to this tension, you have 2 o'clock who's behind him. He's like, oh, so Endeavor hasn't noticed me then. All right. Well, I guess I'll lay low for a little bit until Koichi goes into an alley, and then I'll stop him. Then I'll make my move. So 2 o'clock isn't really that preoccupied with Endeavor. He's going to let Endeavor and Koichi sort of battle it out so that whoever, most likely, when Koichi gets away, that he'll ambush Koichi then. And with that, Koichi just begins dodging Endeavor's shots. Endeavor is throwing fire at him. And he's like, huh. And so you have Koichi, who is diving in front of Endeavor. He is going forward. He is not afraid of the number 2 hero. And you know what? Endeavor notices this. And he's like, huh, this kid is crazy. I guess you got no intention of coming quietly. So now he begins to throw the fireballs at Koichi. Koichi is fast enough to dodge them left and right. And while he's dodging them, you have 2 o'clock who's looking on the situation and thinking to himself like, oh no, Endeavor may take credit for capturing Koichi and Pop Step. Huh, maybe I should fight alongside him. Man, this guy's a hothead. Which, you know, is a funny pun because, you know, he's easy to anger. Also, his head is on fire. So, you know, good observation, 2 o'clock. You know what? You're a very punny man. But anyway, you have just Koichi dodging Endeavor's fire. going left, going right, trying to, make sure that he doesn't get burned, as well as protecting Pop Step. And while this is all happening, you have two panels where you see Koichi dodging a blast, but a blast from behind him explodes, throwing the hoodie over his head. And I think that this is a very cool scene because of what it's implying. The implications of this scene is that Koichi, as the crawler, his identity isn't going to be widely known. Like, by the end of this fight and by the time the climax comes, I think due to the fact that he's wearing a hoodie that is covering his face, no one will know who the crawler's identity is, which is a good thing because it means that Koichi, if he does retire, can leave the hero life behind and not have to face like huge repercussions for his actions when it came to rescuing Popstep. Now, Popstep on the other hand may not be able to come out as scot-free as Koichi is when his identity shrouded in secrecy, even though a lot of people know who Koichi is. But it gives him more of a secrecy so that he won't just immediately be taken in by the cops. But then Popstep is a different issue because she is announcing herself as a villain, but that may be covered up by the police as, oh, that was a villain controlling her. She was just a bystander. She's okay. So I like what that scene is kind of building towards. I've been saying that Koichi has been dodging Endeavor's fireballs, and you know what? Endeavor isn't having it. He just has this like mug of, all right, punk, you think you're hot stuff? And he places his fist into the ground. And from here, we get another special move from Endeavor called Raging Assault Hell Minefield. And basically, to describe what his attack does is that he punches the ground and sends flames into the ground as if, they were mines. And Koichi sees this. He's scared about this. He thinks that the people placed bombs in the streets, but because, Koichi has his quirk that allows him to hover in the sky for a select amount of time, he's able to dodge this attack. And when it comes to 2 o'clock, he also sees this and he's like, oh wow, this is a shotgun approach. I better keep away. So he only jumps a little bit above the ground because he's like, all right, I just need to jump a little bit above the ground just to make sure that I'm in the clear. But there's one thing that he forgot about Endeavor and that he didn't notice is that Endeavor doesn't hold back. And from here, we get a double page spread of Endeavor just releasing even more fire into the ground, where it begins spewing out of the ground even higher than before. And both 2 o'clock and Koichi notice this. Koichi notices how powerful it is because just from this one attack, it's destroying all of the bees that were following him. And 2 o'clock realizes like how devastating it is because it's kind of what he describes it as a 2-pronged attack. The first wave of the attack gets the enemy off guard, while the second attack completely goes in on them while they're distracted. And what is horrible about this situation is because the only reason why he was caught in this is because he wanted to take the credit all for himself, so he didn't warn Endeavor. And with this comes very grave consequences of him being set on fire and engulfed in the flames. So this just shows that even though he believes that he is a hero, he still isn't thinking like a true hero. He thinks about, oh, this is going to be my debut. I need to do this alone so I can make my debut as a hero, instead of thinking about I have to stop the villain. And due to that mindset, he gets caught by another hero's attack and he is burning up. And he's like, oh my gosh, is my plan going to be ruined by just this one mistake? My whole plan is ruined. I'm roasting in midair. What is going on? But I would guess that he's probably thinking in his mind, well, if I'm gonna die like this, at least Koichi is going to die as well. Wait, what is he doing? 2 o'clock notices Koichi's feet is changing. We know that last chapter he noticed that Koichi was able to change his sliding propulsion system, how it changes to allow him to speed up faster. And so he notices another change in Koichi's quirk. And it's like, it's transforming. What is going on? What is Koichi gonna... Oh, we get a double page spread of Koichi's feet being shot. Looks like thrusters coming out of his feet. Just energy like blasting from his feet that is even like putting some of the flames out. And then we get another dope page spread of, we have the detective looking at the sky saying that the crawler, he's flying. And we have all the heroes, some civilians as well, looking at this situation. Even Endeavor has like 2 exclamation marks of like, what? Apparently Koichi can officially fly. So instead of him really, oh gosh, so he is a cockroach. Because if you didn't know, cockroaches can also fly. So the crawler is actually a cockroach, because not only does he skeet on the ground real fast, he can also fly. And you know what's, this is a cool scene. But when I first saw this scene, I didn't just say, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I did eventually do that. But when I first saw this scene, I just laughed. Mainly to the fact that you would be thinking like, Endeavor is going to take out Koichi. Koichi's going to have to fight back. How is he going to get out of this situation? No, he just flies away. He's a shooting star. And what is also funny to me is the immediately after this, where you see 2 o'clock looking at the sky. It's like, what the freaking hell? You cheating bastard! As he's engulfed by Endeavor's flames. And I'm laughing at that. I'm like, wow, you're calling Koichi out at being a cheater? You literally caused this entire situation at 2 o'clock. But yeah, no, 2 o'clock, he's not dead. Will he be heavily damaged? Sure. But I don't think that he's dead in this situation. And if he is, you know what? It's anticlimactic. And for a character like him who enjoys showboating, who enjoys like the grandeur of being a hero, him dying in a mundane way fits perfectly. It's like poetic justice. So I don't think that he's dead, but if he is dead, I wouldn't be surprised. It's a fitting death for this showboating wannabe hero. And so from here, we get the final few panels of this chapter. We see Koichi is flying through the air, flying through the sky. He stops propelling himself forward into the sky, and he looks at Popstep. Popstep calls out to him, Koichi, as he calls out to Pop, as he tells her everything's gonna be okay. As they see that it looks like he's falling towards the ground as the chapter ends. And all I can really say is this. They're gonna survive, but this is a very cute and adorable scene, and I really did enjoy it. Because we know for a fact that next chapter, most likely, Koichi's gonna find a way out of this situation. He's not gonna die. Popstep's not gonna die either. Like I said, this is a very cute, adorable scene. Most likely Koichi is going to survive, as well as Popstep. Koichi's either going to use his quirk to make sure they land on the ground safely, or Popstep's going to use her quirk to make them land on the ground safely. As well as the scene with Endeavor and Koichi going up against each other just shows that Koichi does have the power and the ability to be a very good hero, and he has like a very mobile quirk that he can use for attack and defense. And he went up against the number 2 hero, dodging his attacks, and was able to escape him scot-free. So Koichi is a powerful person, and I would not be surprised if he decides that he may want to continue to be a hero, or even if he decides to retire, because he just wants to do just good deeds. As well as, you know, 2 o'clock, his death most likely is still alive. And when it comes to this chapter overall, this is another chapter building towards the climax, most likely between Koichi the Crawler and 2 o'clock 6. And I think this chapter just shows that the fight between 2 o'clock and Koichi is going to be more evenly matched, due to the fact that 2 o'clock is taking a lot of damage, so he's going to be severely weakened within that final fight, as well as Koichi is stronger than he actually appears. So it won't be what I thought at first, going to be a slaughter fest between the villain and the hero, between 2 o'clock and Koichi. So overall, really did enjoy this chapter. Thought it was a cool chapter to end the confrontation between Endeavor and Koichi, as well as building up to the climax of the story. So all I'm going to say is, what did you think of this chapter? Did you think it was good? What did you like? What you didn't like? Leave a comment down below. Leave a like. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do all of that cool jazz. And hopefully I'll be able to catch you in the next video.